What's up, people, and welcome back to my channel. Right, so today on the sprint build we are on seat mount duty. So because this thing's got a fiberglass floor, you can't really just bolt a seat to it because it's going to flex all over the place. So a lot of people have done this in the different ways. So basically, two tubes. This is 1 inch with 2.65mm wall, so it's quite thick stuff. So basically we are joining the center bar, center spine, to the bottom cage. It has got a small upsweep. See it on the end? There's a little bend here. It's only 10 degrees to bring it up onto this tube. And we're all notched out, look. So it just fits nice. No wobble. Perfect tip. Yeah, and then that's going to be square. Then we've got this. This is same with a 90-degree notch on it. I've already measured out the rails on the seat. Yeah? So I know where these need to be. Centre line is there. So that will hook under there. Like that. And this is going to come back. And then what we're going to do is roughly in line with this bend there. And where that is. And then this, I need to work out where the back of the seat is going to be. Which is roughly in line with this, to be honest, where the back mount of the seat is. Because this, the seat the chap's bought, has got like the mini style. Which we're going to modify, obviously. And then it's going to bend up into here. So it's going to have a bend. Then it's going to have a tube from here to here. Across from there to the second. And then from there up to this bottom rail again. Then it's got to have a tube from here to there. Basically just to solid it up. That way it can't move. And it shouldn't go down because it's got these ties. Yeah, so it's starting to try and get everything, you know what I mean, it's solid. So for these, basically, I'll start off with a length of tube. First thing I always do is notch the opposite end. Any tube on any job I'm making, I'll notch the end. Yeah, so you've always got a square point to work to. You get me? So no matter what tube it is, make sure it's got some scrap on the end of it. Notch it. Then that way, when you put it in the bender, when you put it in your notcher, you know you're always working to a parallel or a horizontal or to a flat bend. So I do that. Then I slid it into the bender to the end of here, which is 4 inches, I know on mine, for the start of the bend. Because this is my little 1 inch. I've only just brought this, to be fair, for this job. And then we end up with this. So we've got the bar, the 90 degree, and you've got your 4 inches, which just fits in, see? There's my mark. So I made the one, then put up these two stanchions, well, two magnets with a bit of plate. Boom, boom. Got that. Boom, boom. Mark, mark. They're all the same then, aren't they? Apart from this one that fell on the floor. And then when you drill it through, it's got this little bit of scrap. Well, nothing's ever scrap, because you can make little gussets out of these and all sorts. I just keep a little bucket. And just chuck them in. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop this last one. I kept this one to show you what I was doing. Yeah, and then we need to work out our cross sections. So we've got that one. We need to make the two cross sections so we can get this square. So we can tack, 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 tack. Well, no, actually, we need well, ignore that. And we can make our cross sections, but we can't tack them because we've got to bend that. So we've got to work out where the back of the seat's going to come to. Then we need to work out our angle, and we'll creep up on it. Yeah? Because this is going to be up at an angle. So like if you look at this, it's not sitting on the side of the tube, it's sitting down. So you do have to make this a touch longer and creep up on it, because it's got to fit. Right, let's get it doing, shall we? Alright, so now what we need to do, we need to work out where our bend's going to be. And then how much of a bend we want to put on it. Yeah? So, let's get a measurement off the seat. Anything past 13, really. So if we go to 16 inches, we'll put us there. I know that's too far forward. Alright, so I'm going to go 18 inches. That's where I'm going to be. 18 inches from the end of that bend. Stack them. Yeah. Square on them. Just gives us that line to work to, doesn't it? So, 10 inches. Now we need to work out, say, where our angle is going to be at. So, 0 out. To say, right, get that into place. Be about there, because these are just going to hover off the fiberglass. I don't want them on sitting on the fiberglass. So we go from there to there. It's not going to be from there to there, is it? Because it's only coming halfway down the tube. Let's knock one out at 20 degrees. Yeah. Bend one up at 20 degrees. Right, so now you'll see why I put that notch in the end. Originally I told you. So what we'll do, I'm going to drop it in. Our line that we've just put on, put in line. I'm going to glass check. So that sits in there. This is your die. I put that line against there, so that is my 18 inches. You can either use the end of this or the end of this. I use the end of this. So that is in line with the end of there. Nip it, and then you get yourself a magnet, square magnet, tube with a known 90-degree cut. Put it on your table, and then just turn it until you're at your 90 degrees. When this tube fits like a glove. Yeah? And that's it. That's how you do it, people. WD. You want to get a good bit of oil in here, to be honest. So it's nice. It just helps smooth, but it also saves your dye. So a bit squirt, a bit on the tube, put it in there. Too much on the hurt. Then we're going to pull it round. Just give our indicator a bit of a tweak. Set on 0. A lot of people have their 0 here, but in one of my last videos I did like a review on this. I have it there. Yeah, doesn't matter where you have it as long as it's right. Because when I'm pulling the thing around here, I can see it. You know what I mean? What's the point having it here when you can't see it? Okay? Right then, what did we take? 20 degrees, wasn't it? Start at 20. I do think it's going to be more up to 25. Got to go 2 over. Just try that. Yeah. See, under 45 degrees, I'll go 2 degrees over. But when I was at 90 degrees, I had to go 5 degrees over because you're getting more spring back. Right, let's try this, shall we? We're just using this as a bit of a guide to see where we need to be with it. So we're up to the bottom of the tube, right? That's in. That's at the bottom of the tube. So we need to come a bit more, don't we? But it's not much. And then we need to get our notch on to move our notch down the tube. And then we just want to click it in. Once we've got that, we'll make 4 the same. And we're away. Got to make sure that these 2 run parallel, which it will once it's off there, because it's sitting on the fiberglass at the minute. Yeah? Just to help me hold it in place. I think we're going to need a few more degrees, aren't we? See what I might do? I'm not cracked with the notch at the minute. If I do that, which is in line with the tube, not going straight down, but too short. You need to be on the same angle as that. Yeah? So you go in that line, because that's going to come up. It's going to swing up. It's not going to be straight up. It's going to swing up. If you do it in line with that, it's going to be like here. Yeah? So we've got to go that way. Right, as well, I'm changing over from these to the Milwaukee ones. Yeah? And I gotta say, these things cut like butter compared to these, and they're like 1/4 of the price. So if you get a chance to try the Milwaukee ones over the Sterrett ones, I think these are good, but they just seem to lose their edge really soon compared to the Milwaukee. Right then. Go straight in. Have a look, shall we? Hopefully it'll be a little bit long. Yeah, we are just a touch long, but better to be long than short. Right? You gotta think, I want to put a bit more bend in it. And you can't if it's too short. still think we need more bend. Right, so what I'm at here now is 30 degrees and we're a touch too long. Right? Which I know because I mark there and I'm at least 2 mil on the other side. Because this isn't sitting, that end isn't sitting in its groove. See, it's sitting, you can't really see. It's pushed that way against this. So we need to take a couple of mil off that. And when that takes a couple of mil off that, this is going to raise because it's still sitting on the glass. Right? So if we've got that on there, that's at 0. If we put it on top of there, it's at 0. So we are very close. Do you know what I mean? 5. But once that back end comes up, it's just flicking over. Well, basically, it's right, but we still need to come up a touch. But when I take that little bit of material out of there, it's going to come back and it will come up the same. But we know now 30 degrees is where we need to be. Yeah, so I'm going to bend these up. Well, I'll try that one in all 4 spots. And then I'm going to bend them all 30 degrees. Right. So they're all bent 30 degrees. All pretty straight. So this end's good. Now we need to make them the same as this one. So I'll just do it the same as I did the other one. So we need it. Which direction do we need it? So I'm going the notch that way. It's going to be there like that. And like that. Put the other magnet back. Whenever you can use a jig, things are going to be better. Yeah? So we do that. And you put your square and just line them up. So they're in line. Just a touch more. Touching. And then we're going to mark in there. All of them, notch them, get them done. Ready? So right then, people, those 4 are in. And they're packed up 3 mil. So we've got that little bit of clearance between the bar and the floor. And they're set to the right width. Because these are the seat mounts he wants, because he wants rails. So I've set it to the outside diameter plus 3 mil for my plates, which we got to 335 mil outside to outside. So then we worked out the inside, which was 284. Then we plus 7 mil either side, because to create a 1 inch, it's 7 mil deep. So you need to add 14 mil of material. If you think about it, from the one end to the other end is 284 to there. Then you need to add 7 mil for your cut. both sides, 14mm. So we need to cut 4 pieces, 298. Yeah, so we'll get that done now, and we're going to put a 1-inch notch on either end, perfectly square, and then they're going to be our separators. So we need 4 of them. So I've got enough tube down, we'll just run them off. Well, I thought I'd just explain how I'm doing that. So, we've all got your notches. And as you can see, I put measurements on them all. So if you want to take 7, 10, 12, 14mm off the end of every tube, and you haven't got any forms of measurements on there, all you do is you get your ruler, drop it in, put it on the edge of your saw with your hole cutter, and then you've got your measurements here. So in, just touch it, and then you can see you've got your measurements to the end. Yeah, so you've got that measurement there, which is, it's a bit dark, but it is actually 96mm. Or however many bananas. It's a bit dark, isn't it, to see? But yeah, you get that. So that's 96mm. There you go. So if I want to take a 12mm cut, we'll say a 14mm cut, I'll just slide it along, and you've got your cut. So all I'll do then is get your tube, put it on the end. You know, then if you mark 1100mm, yeah, you're going to get the right depth on the end every time. So all I've done there is I've measured the 104mm. So all I'm doing is putting it in, yeah, pulling it in until my line is in line with the edge, the right hand side of my line, not on the line, the right hand side. See what I mean? And then you've got your offset. Then all I'm doing is this end, because we want both of these notches parallel, you just get your edge finder, pop it on either there or there, depending on which one you use, your 0, bit of tube, put your edge finder on, stick it in the end, and you just turn it around till you're at 90 degrees. Or whatever kind of tolerance you're working to. Yeah? I mean, that's 8995, so basically, when that's chopped, you've got two, it's the right length, you've got 2 parallel cuts. Simples, see? Yep. Right, so they're in the rough spots-ish. And now what I want to do, I want to make some more to come from here to there. Now, a 38mm notch is basically nothing. It only takes a couple of mil off. And we know how much our other one's got to be, don't we? Because we've just done it, 7mm. So what I'll do is I'll get this measurement and knock that up, and then we'll have one for the other side as well, just to give a bit of extra support on this bend. Coming together now, people. Right, so this is where we've got to. We've got our straights in, we've got our centres in. Then I've made some braces from there to there, from there, there. There's one there, there's another one there. Now we're nice and square and true and flat. Majority of the weight is going to be back here where the back of the seat sits. So yeah, and that's what we get for the seats. I think it's turned out quite well. It's a lot of welding, but I think that'll do for what they need. So now we've got to make mounting plates for the seats. What I want to do is I want to put some plates on the back side of these, yeah? And that's going to have the hole in for the front of this mount. You see? So I need to design a plate that fits in there. To be fair, these triangle ones aren't too far off. What else have I got? I was in triangles. Got squares, plenty of these big triangles. These are the offcuts from my rear radius arm mounts. Well, I've got these ones, but I don't think these are going to be big enough. What I might do now, is just lob the top off that so it slides underneath, and then have a view on how much material we've got in it. This is pretty meaty stuff. And then once I'm ready for that, I can't put this in, so I don't know where this is going to end, see, because I can pick it up and move it around a bit. So this needs to be done first, and then it's going to get fully welded on the inside, welded on the outside. Because the plate's so small, there's not going to be any flex in that anyway. Alright, so we need to design and make that. So now we've got 4 of these. These are going to go in there. Yeah, we're going to have a hole in. That's where the seat is going to mount to. And that is going to be pretty bloody strong because it's on a curve. If it's like that, you can flex, but because we're on a curve, we're held by the curve, so it's not going to flex. So the only thing we're going to do now, the holes have got to be in the same position. So I think what I might do first is drill them all, then I'll do them in pairs, so I know they're getting fitted in the same place in both sides, you know what I mean? So we haven't got any deflection, so I know they're both mounted and the holes are in the same place. Right, so where we're at now, we've got these done. All of these are identical because I cut them all and then bolted them all together, made them nice, right? And I've marked the top of them all. So they're all going to end up facing the same direction. So we know the holes parallel with each other. So now, these are the driver's side bars I've taken out. We've got a right and a left, so that's tunnel side, door side. So now what we need to do is flip them over. Even though these are still they're the same bar, I still want to keep them in the orientation that we've had them in the car, because we know it works. So what we'll do is we'll put a magnet there and a magnet there, and that'll hold everything in place. Now what we need to do is two of these need to go in here, right? So what I'm going to do is bolt them together. Yeah, just trying to keep everything parallel, as parallel as we can. Right, and then that needs to come up, but it can't come too high because we've got to be able to get the weld all around here. Yeah, that's why I've made it the way I have, so we can just get enough on it. I think that is good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a clamp on there. Alright, just snug everything up then. Steady, so we'll put the clamp about there. And then we'll put another one at the top here, just so we can keep it, you know what I mean, because we've got a gap now in the middle, haven't we? Pop another one on there. There we go. Now those two are running parallel. And these are being held at this point and this point, so that we know from that they're in the right place, aren't they? Right then, that's them welded. So we've got some nice heat in there, and they're all still level. They're all fully welded up all the way around, so we're not going to get any gaps. So there shouldn't be any weak points. Now what we've got to do, we've got to wet these. I'm going to let these cool naturally. I don't want to force cool them with air or anything. So I don't want anything going brittle, because if you cool it down too quick, it goes brittle. Unless you're hardening it, because then again it can go brittle. So what we're going to do is we're going to end the video there. So we've done quite a bit in this video. I don't quite know how long it's going to be, because I haven't started editing it. But that's how I've done my seat mounts, and I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like if you don't mind, and share it to your homies who are making their own little thing in their garage. But I'll see you in the next one. See you later.